Hello Internet. It's been a little bit of time, but we are back with another video on them's fightin' herds. It has been quite a while, I think, maybe over a year almost, since I recorded the last set of episodes looking at the arcade mode for the different characters. I'd have to go back and look at the footage and see which version of the game that was, but right now it is currently May of 2019. According to the lower right hand corner of the screen, we're on version 0.7 of the game. It's still in early access over on Steam. The developers have said that the quote-unquote full release of the game, official release, is version 1.0, and they've been doing a lot of patches and tweaks and minor updates to the early access version periodically over the last year or so, and all of that has eventually been leading up to the 1.0 release, which I believe is also going to incorporate a fleshed out story mode for all the characters that currently doesn't exist. If we go to single player, it says story mode 1.0 coming soon. But because it's been a little while since I last had hands on the game, I thought it would be interesting to go into the latest version and take a look at the different characters and see what's changed. I know the developers have put a pretty decent amount of polish into the animation and presentation in the game. There's been quite a lot of tweaks to values of moves and the way certain special moves behave. I don't have the complete patch history, so I don't really plan on doing an in-depth deep dive into the specifics of each character's changes. But I thought, at the very least, going in and taking a look at the characters, looking at their moves and their supers, and seeing what's visibly changed would be an interesting update, since I want this series of videos to be ongoing. This can be taken as the quote-unquote official start of the Lab Time series for them's fightin' herds. So far I've done that for Soul Calibur, and I do want to plan on doing that for this game as well, since its development is ongoing. But what we can do is go into training mode, and I'll go through the different characters, tinker around with their moves a bit, and just see what what's changed. I'll go ahead and get started.
Take your pick.
I had remapped the controls of the fight stick that I'm using here. I think when I was recording all these episodes last time, I was using one of my old Xbox 360 fight sticks. And since then, I ended up getting a PS4 fight stick, which I'm using on my PC. The button layout is a little different, so I have to get used to my confirm and cancel buttons being in a different place. We'll go ahead and go down the list here.
Oleander.
My magic may be dark, but it will bring
Velvet.
light to the world.
Yeah, or dark, either one.
To sort of recap what we were doing before, my main in this game, at least as of when I was playing it last, was Oleander. If you take a look at her normals, A, B, and C, it doesn't look like the properties of those have changed. I think the overall effects on her book, with her Summon Fred, there's a bit more detail on the animations with the book. I don't think there's any placeholders. We'll take a look as we see here. All of her basic moves mid-combo look like they're fully fleshed out with animations. I don't see any placeholders there. The down C in the air, that one doesn't look too different. For her fireball projectile or down forward, that one doesn't look dramatically different either. Without doing a side-by-side comparison, it's hard to tell if anything major has changed with that. They might have tweaked the effects on the projectile. it might have some more filter and sparkle type effects on it. Let's see, her magic state, which is reading the book to gain her magic meter on the purple bars. That looks pretty much the same. Let's see, her enhanced magic fireball. That looks about the same as well. Eats up all of your magic stock. Goes full screen very quickly and has a pretty big hitbox. Her teleport, her down, A, B, or C, or magic, which can also be used in the air. It does consume 1 bar of magic. Looks like they may have updated the graphics on the actual burst when she teleports. For the enhanced version of that with her magic, if you hit down, and magic, she teleports directly to the enemy and does an area effect explosion that does cause damage. And that doesn't look different. She might have had more of a red added to her moves. For some reason that stands out a little bit more. Overall, don't see too many graphic changes on Oleander here. Take a look at her supers, her fireball forward and 2 attacks. Beam. That doesn't look too different. I think they may have added some more effects on the beam itself. That sort of revolving effect. That looks new. We're gonna take a look at her summon with Fred. That I would assume or expect to have been updated probably the most, since her summon was a little bit not basic, but it looked like they still wanted to add more effects to when Fred is on screen. Let's see. So backwards fireball and 2 attacks.
Ouch. Ouch.
Got it.
Oh, I forgot to test out the magic trap, fireball backwards. That looks largely the same. And the big one. The graphics on the magic traps look about the same.
You're mine.
Her throw looks like the animation was updated. Let's see if we can get the super to come out.
Ouch.
Darkness.
Am I doing the input wrong? Oh, that's right. Hers is it's a continuation super. I forgot that's how they work in this, so I have to hit with this and then throw that out. With Fred out, we now have a bar that shows how long he's going to be on screen. Looks like his overall sprite is the same. There might be more frames of animation on it, though. You could tell that he has a bit more idle movement, it seems, and looks like there's a reflection effect on his sprite as well. Try that again and get him back on screen. I'm gonna have to remember how to do all the different attacks with Fred.
on, Fred.
Sort of recap how this summon works. It's sort of like a puppet character where you control both Oleander and using inputs you control Fred as well. Hitting a direction and magic while he's on screen causes him to do different attacks. So he can be kind of used to lock down and cross up the opponent when he's on screen.
Got it.
Overall, that looks like it for Oleander. It seems that the dev team talked about doing a lot of smoothing for the animations and cleaning up little graphical flaws. Overall, the characters look pretty good. The effects on the attacks and the overall movement of the sprites does look pretty good. I think they added some background effects too, now that I look at it. The backgrounds used to be completely static, and now they've done some layering. I'm pretty sure that's new, with the foreground and then the background and then the mist sort of moving between. The backgrounds look great. Alright, we'll go ahead and switch characters.